John Westfall and Dan McCarger back one more time on the night. We were hoping it was going to be the last time of the season, but you're going to be stuck with us one more night, fans, as we're going to have to come back tomorrow night for Game 3 as the Lakers tonight. Again, they could not have drawn this thing up any better. Damon Whitten and his group. You know you're going to get outshot. The Mavericks outshoot everybody. You're on the road, so you need really good goaltending. They got that, and you need to take advantage of the few opportunities you're going to be given. They did that on the power play goal. They get a weird bounce in the third period, and it's a 2-0 Laker win, and we are coming back tomorrow night.
Well, you know, you take 6 penalties. You figure you're going to give up a goal or 2 at least shorthanded. They don't give up any. You kill off 6 penalties on the road. You score a power play goal. You like your chances. But you look at 57-14, you say we should lose that game. And the Mavericks just 2 Saturdays in a row now have not been able to figure out a way to get one in the net, and that's a problem. Tomorrow night, if they can get one early, it's a completely different game. But, you know, as for tonight and as for last Saturday, they've just got to figure out a way to crash the net and figure out who can knock one in.
Mavericks shut out for the 6th time on the season. That's a number you would not expect. But as we move into the highlights, again, we were scoreless through the first period of play. Mavericks dominating shots on goal, obviously, each and every period. It has to go into the second period before we get the power play goal there by Hinkie.
At the 16-minute mark, he makes it 1-0. That ends up being the game-winning goal, and he was just left all alone. Going to get a chance for the other one here from McKay, and we thought that maybe it was deflected out in front by Johnson, but it wasn't. It was deflected by a Maverick underneath goaltender Cole Huggins. And get a look at some saves from Gordon Dayfield, who had a big night tonight. He gave up 5 goals last night, but he redeemed himself, and I'm sure Damon Whitten's feeling awfully good about his team and going into tomorrow evening.
So as Dan just mentioned with Coach Hastings, the 2 biggest statistics is just obviously the performance by Dayfield. You see 57 shots on net, only 14 for the Lakers, 5, 5, and 4 in each of the 3 periods for the Lakers. That one power play tally. So the 2 stats for the Mavericks, one is null and void in the 57 shots on goal. The Mavericks 0 for 6 in power play opportunity times. They obviously win the faceoffs. And again, as we just mentioned, the Lakers are statistically going to go into this, and they know they're going to lose, but we're looking for that one break. We're going to hang in there as long as we can. They've now forced this to a Game 3, and tomorrow night, it's the Mavericks who have the entire pressure on them, and we're going to see how they respond. Thankfully, they're at home, and thankfully, they're an upperclassman-laden group. And as we just mentioned, and Coach Hastings kind of validated what we said, seniors, it's now or never. This is your time. This is your building. You need to go out there and own it and take care of business and do it early.
The playoffs had not begun until now. The playoffs begin tomorrow night. You know, it wasn't last night a win or go home. It wasn't a win or go home for the Mavericks tonight. It is tomorrow night. From now on, your next loss is your last loss. So they know tomorrow night they have to win that game, and this team has been pretty good when they're backed up against the wall, and you just got to think, like, as you mentioned, with the players that they have, the skill that they have, the determination that they've shown over the years, that they'll be able to figure out a way to get it done. But it's scary. It's
elimination
scary.
games are always, and it makes it more interesting, obviously, as we move into our play of the game. This is why it becomes more interesting, because you're going to go back against a goaltender who made 57 saves the previous night. This is one of the better ones, but Gordon Dayfield giving us our J. Beal Real Estate play of the game. J. Beal Real Estate Group does the little things that make a big difference. Gordon Dayfield is a difference maker. Will he be tomorrow night?
Will he be tomorrow night? Hard to say, but he was awfully good tonight. Bowling Green routs Bemidji State. It was a close game in the 3rd period. Michigan Tech hangs on, and all the Alaska schools are done. Now they'll decide if they'll have hockey next year in Alaska or not. Ferris State by 3 over Northern Michigan. UMD leading Miami in the 3rd. St. Cloud leading in the 3rd. North Dakota leading big in the 3rd over Colorado College. As you look at the series, so MTU is advancing, Ferris advances, Bowling Green and Bemidji State tomorrow night, and the Mavericks and Lake Superior State tomorrow night.
And that means, again, as Dan just mentioned, tomorrow night, 6:30 the pregame show. Dan and I join the broadcast at 7, and 7:07 the face-off. Game 3, we've been through a few of them here in the building. Always interesting, always a lot of fun. The place gets juiced up, and literally every rush up and down the ice means
yes.
could mean the difference between turning in your gear the next day or moving on to Van Andel, and that's where we're back. So it should be a lot of fun. We need you in the building. We want you down here in downtown Mankato area. You can come and see this Maverick team one more time. We need to utilize a full building to our advantage and even add that pressure to the whole contest.
As you mentioned, the students will be back. Hopefully they'll be loud and raucous tomorrow night, and the Mavericks can come away with a victory and head up to Van Andel next weekend with a chance to make it the NCAA tournament. But as for now. You going to give it to Jack Buck or not?
No, we're not going to give it to Jack Buck, but yeah, we will be back again tomorrow night. But for tonight, one more time, our final score as we close this one out. For Dan McCarger, Don Westfall, and the rest of the students from Bethany Lutheran College, we thank you for joining us. Our final score, forcing Game 3, Lake Superior State wins. They defeat Minnesota State Mankato by a score of 2-0.